Welcome to Gaia's Love, a podcast of brief messages to help humanity bridge the gap to the new earth. My name is Vivienne Gerard. It is my delight to be a scribe for consciousness today, sharing the wisdom that flows through from Source. Here we go. Episode 325. It is Monday today, the 27th of January. It's about 5 o'clock as I record today's podcast, which is way later than I usually record, but today has been this beautiful day of moving slowly and integrating, tuning into what's next, just a lot of spaciousness in my schedule today. And so here I am recording whatever it is that is meant to flow through. So the weather is gray. There was a little bit of sunshine earlier, but it's mostly been gray for a few days. Very chilly, kind of wet. And I would say that's pretty typical for January here in Cincinnati. I'm hoping that we have a really short winter and spring arrives early with lots of color and sunshine and warm temperatures. But I think I have competition from the teachers and students who are desperately praying for snow days. So yesterday was my birthday and I turned 49. I have been loved on and celebrated all weekend. I arrived here so filled up, so happy. Just so grateful for all the love that is in my life and just all the beautiful ways that people show me their love. On Friday, it was the new moon in Aquarius, which was when I recorded the last podcast. And since then, Just White Light has published. It's now available on Amazon, and I received my copy. My daughter ordered 2 copies this weekend for us, and so hers and mine arrived today, and it has been so cool to hold the book and walk around and feel the physicality of this book, this energy that I've been tuning into over the past few weeks. And so I can feel how much energy is moving through me and how excited I am. And also, there's work to be done. There are messages to continue sharing. And so maybe we'll be talking more about Just White Light. I don't know. In this moment, I just want to name it and honor the awesomeness that is that book and that story and all the love that moved through me as I was creating it. And the title for today that has been sitting with me most of the afternoon is Gaia 2020. When we begin the new year, which is really what I'm opening up here in this Gaia's Love space, when I begin this new vibration of 2020 in the podcast, the most important energy to tune into is Gaia, Earth. And so much has shifted and moved astrologically, energetically, spiritually, physically. Our world has been transforming and changing rapidly as we move from 2019 into 2020. And I could name all kinds of things, right? We've had political changes. We have had some terrible natural changes with Australia. There have been just so many different stories and endings and beginnings. What I would like to tune into is what is the vibration, what is the translation I would offer in this podcast space for Gaia, for Earth, as we settle into 2020, the new decade, the new year, this shift of Pluto conjunct Saturn in Capricorn that happened a couple weeks ago. If you're not familiar with that, I talked about it in one of our Sunday meditations. You can go to my Instagram or Facebook accounts and kind of scroll through the page, through the pictures, and you'll see the one that was for that Sunday where I tuned into that shift astrologically. There's a recording from a meditation. You can access that and tune into this massive opening or portal of light that is coming in, I believe, to the energy field of our planet with such reverence for this earth as an energy, for Gaia, the consciousness that is this field that we call Gaia. And all this light is moving through the atmosphere, through us as humans who can be conductors of energy, conductors of light, and is directed into the center of our planet to support this evolution of our planet, of the consciousness of Gaia. If none of this is making sense to you, it's okay. There's an energetic translation that your soul is getting, that your body is going to feel. Whether the words make sense or not, it's really not what's important. It's the feeling of expansion and love and strength and support that is coming in to this planet at this time. So as we begin 2020, as we open up the translations, the communications that I will be sharing in Gaia's Love this year, I feel so compelled to begin with a translation of how I sense Gaia, Earth, to be. And you may or may not agree with my translation. It's all perfect. It's information for you to ponder and sit with and then have your own exploration. There's an energetic feeling that you will get. And this is where I offer the guidance I always offer anyone. Truth resonates. Truth, the truth of consciousness, of love, of universal energy. It resonates. And when we hear truth, when we see and feel truth, our body cannot deny it. Our body feels the bolts of electricity that moves through. So as I name my translation or attempt to kind of move my way through what I'm feeling, trust what your body communicates with you. The body knows when somebody is lying to us or when something is out of integrity. The body also knows when a massive awareness is being delivered into our mind, into our consciousness. We feel it. And let your own body be the barometer of what's true for you and what isn't. And then follow the thread. If everything I say is bogus to you, awesome. Do your own exploration. How do you feel about Gaia Earth? How do you feel about your role with this planet? And where does that journey take you? Follow the trail. If you get a full body yes, what does that mean? How do you journal about that? What do you do to support this understanding of Gaia in the way I share it? Allow it to be this magical exploration, whichever direction it takes you. And that's really all that I hope every time I translate energy, is allow it to guide you on your path and follow the flow, because your soul is always going to take you exactly where you most need to be when you stop fighting. When you trust how your soul is speaking through you, it's so wise. It's going to take you to the most incredible places and feelings and experiences and collaborations and friendships and love. It's just, the soul is so wise. And when we can trust how the energy moves through our soul and follow that flow, the journey, it just gets better and better and better. Okay, so my interpretation, Gaia 2020. the first feeling I have is just a sense of such anticipation. Our planet has been evolving and morphing and transforming. We as humans have been taking credit for it, which we sort of can. We're collaborators with our Earth. She has resources, and we choose how we use those resources or abuse those resources in our own understanding of it. But Gaia, Earth, she has her own experience that she is following, her own energy field that she's playing in. And, all of us, 7 billion humans, we are just little, like the bees in the hive. There's a queen bee, and then there's all these little bees, and if the queen bee is healthy and strong, then all the other bees know exactly how to move around and what to do and what their role is. When the queen bee dies, the whole hive dies. And those members of the hive probably thought they were the ones that were making all the decisions, but it was the energy of the queen bee that was actually running the whole show and holding the space open. It's much like that for us as humans within the energy field of Gaia Earth. We are absolutely the ones creating and making physical things happen and bringing our energy into this collaboration with Earth. We are the ones moving and buzzing around, and so perhaps we have believed for a long time that it's our hive, to use the terms of the bees. This has been our hive. We're the ones that are in charge of the hive, and we are the ones that are determining where the hive is going to go and what it's going to do. So I offer to you the possibility that there is a queen bee. There is a beautiful queen bee, and her name is Gaia. Her hive is hers. This is her planet. It's her consciousness that creates the air, the water, the elements, the everything, the food, the nourishment, the photosynthesis to keep us functioning in collaboration with the sun. She creates everything. And so we are the worker bees. We are the ones that are doing stuff within her hive. But her health, her belief in her health, this is Gaia's hive, and it is the possibility of the shift that will happen for us in this next year is that we start listening to what the queen of the hive is needing or guiding us to move towards. And I would also offer nobody knows that except for the energy field, the consciousness of Gaia. We can have ideas. Astrologers can attempt to guide us, to support us in what's coming or what's shifting. Energy readers like myself and others can offer reflections. We can suggest what we sense. But the queen of the hive has her own flow, her own vision, her own movement, and it would be wise of us to be paying attention to that energy and to learn to communicate with the consciousness of our planet in a new way, in a deeper way, to listen. For many of us as humans, listening to Gaia sounds like a really crazy idea. How do you listen to a planet? How do you listen to the hive or the queen or whatever, my definitions are that I'm attempting to offer here? Listening is intuitive, individual. So if we use the image of the queen bee and the hive, since that seems to be so relevant, I would imagine that the queen bee is not standing in the center of the hive and yelling commands at all the other bees. There's a sensing or an intuitive telepathic communication that is moving from different parts of the hive, moving around, and the steadiness, the stillness of the queen bee's energy at the center radiates the knowing out to all the other members of the hive. Our invitation, I believe, for this year is to attune ourselves to slow down our lives enough that we can start to listen to a more telepathic communication with our planet. We can turn up the senses within our human bodies that feel things about Earth. So, for example, often when weather is changing, I will have people tell me they get headaches or they're super tired. Sometimes when there's a lot shifting, when the earth is kind of moving or the waves are moving, there's a sense of queasiness in people's stomachs. When we have these experiences, headaches or popping of the ears or sore stomachs or these physical ailments, often we try to dismiss them, override them, or attribute them to other things. I ate this bad food. I heard too many loud noises. It was too stressful. Yes, some of that plays into our physical body. But what if that barometric pressure that is creating the headache is Gaia trying to send your mind a message, trying to force you to slow down, maybe calling you to get outside and to breathe in fresh air so that you can acclimate to the barometric shift. Remember when you used to sit outside and a storm would come in and you would smell the rain before it even started raining? That's communication with our planet. It's being still and getting outside so we can feel what's happening. As we slowly begin to allow that sort of connection with Earth, what we will find is she magnetizes us out more and more and more. So suddenly we want to go for a quick walk. We want to just open up the door and window and have fresh air come in. We crave the sounds of the wind moving through the branches, whether there are leaves on the branches or not. We sense like, if I could just hear the ocean or hear the birds singing outside. Many of those sounds are available on social media, on YouTube, audios. Begin there. If you can't get outside all the time, maybe one of the ways you can start communicating with Earth more is bring Earth sounds into your office and put them on low volume by your desk. Change what you're listening to in the car. So instead of it's talk, or ads or music that just depresses you or frustrates you or gets you anxious, what if you just start listening to sounds of the earth, or open your windows and you'll maybe hear traffic, so maybe you need to put on sounds of the earth. There's so many ways that our human senses can begin slowly reattuning to the energy of this planet, of Earth, of Gaia. And I believe as we start to do that, little bit by little bit, a little bit more today and a little bit more next week, and even more in a month or two from now, we begin connecting with the Earth, who is trying to connect with all of us. And as more and more of us are listening to her, feeling her energy, her calm, her joy that we're actually paying attention to her energy field. The queen of the hive is going to be able to send us very clear messages. And as we begin listening to our earth, I believe she will reveal what her intentions are, what her shift is going to be, her metamorphosis will be for 2020 and beyond. Climate change is a buzzword. It's a real thing, and we have attached much fear to it. I believe as we start to listen to the energy of Earth and run our human understandings and feelings down through our feet into the earth, the queen of the hive is going to explain to us, teach us, show us where it is she's headed. Because Gaia is going to be here much longer than humans are if we choose to keep ignoring her communication. She will keep her hive open and do it by herself and not need all of the worker bees inside. But that's not, I believe, what she wants, is to have us come to an end or have us not be in her hive. I truly believe Gaia, she was birthed to be sustainable and to be an energy field that hosts creation, hosts collaboration, expands love, and souls in human bodies. We are powerful collaborators when we are listening to her communication. So perhaps we just begin. We begin listening again to Gaia, and we see what it is she has to say. And each one of us will have our own interpretations. We'll have our own messages. What I offer here is simply my message, my understanding, my interpretation of where we could be headed with her. I know what sits underneath all of it is love, a deep, deep love that brought souls into human bodies here in the energy field of Gaia. Love invited us in. Love is what created our form, and love is what will guide us forward. So can we tune into that and allow these messages and the communication through love to guide us, to open up a new dialogue? It's absolutely possible. And I believe if there were a big message, a billboard, a neon sign that Gaia is translating, or I'm translating through my human understanding, it would be just allow more love, tune into love, choose love, and feel how much this planet loves us as a humanity. So, yeah, there's a lot of energy moving through me, and it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. So Gaia 2020, this would be my offering, my reflections. And yeah, I leave it there. I will be back on Friday, and we'll see what is expanding this week. So much love to you. Thank you for tuning in to this vibration of pure love. I invite you to join me on Sunday mornings for an hour of meditation, visualization, and energy healing, where we realign our mind, body, spirit with Gaia and Source. You can learn more at mysouljourney.com. Let's take this message of Gaia's love out into all of our relationships and communities today. So much love from my heart to yours.